We're back. We're back. The B team is back, day 2, and we've already had a defection.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
Like, I mean, the guy,
one day.
And it's perfect because now, as you know, I'm Ryan Brauninger. He's Richard Zane. We were here with you yesterday. That chair is going to be Richard a lot, but it will rotate. We are going to have some other folks in here. The chair behind the camera has already rotated, and it makes sense because now producing the show, Mr. Cade Bickham. Welcome along to the B team, Mr. Bickham.
Yes, thank you. It's really the B team now since I'm back here and not Nick Savage.
Well,
it makes a lot more sense. Like he does have a last name that starts with a B. I'm the odd man out now.
That's exactly right. So I don't know who we're going to replace you with just yet.
Luke Belangelist.
Bellucci, Billy Lucci.
Bellina.
All right, moving on. I think, though, Cade, what we experienced yesterday was, it was too highfalutin. Nick, he's too polished. He's too good at his job to be on this show. And I think after going home and probably talking to his wife and maybe some people talking about how bad the show was yesterday around town, I think he realized that he might be above us. So thank you, Cade, for joining us and becoming a part of the B team. I might get you to sign a written consent form that you ain't going anywhere. Okay, you're in this thing. You're not going to be waffling like Nick.
Oh yes, you know what? You can send me that consent form right now and I'll sign it. I'm in.
He's almost like barely old enough to like sign his own permission slip. Whoa.
That's what he just said.
He did say he consents. Okay. But it's like he's barely old enough to sign his own permission slip.
Which is funny, like, because Cade does look super young.
Yes.
He's in his second and final year of grad school
I promise I'm 23, everyone.
He's 23.
Bars around town, Northgate. I promise I'm 23. My Colorado ID is
not a fake. I promise, guys.
It's
real, I swear.
I promise.
Well, I've already put him to work because I gave him some stuff throughout the day. I texted him some stuff from Twitter. Sent him a video from Instagram. So he's got some stuff that I think he's been working on to get ready for the show. Hey, by the way, real quick, cut to your camera again, Cade. Is that Nick behind you?
Yes, he is here currently.
Okay. Can you tell him to get his present that Richard delivered to him today so the crowd can see?
Dude.
Come on, Nick. Come show the camera.
Monsters.
Look at this.
Yes.
Look at this. What a pal you are, Richard. I felt bad about tempting him yesterday, and you walked in this morning with that.
24-pack. The best $38 I've ever spent at Costco wholesale.
We need to make sure that we have this date down so that we can track the progress of him deleting that entire case of White Monsters.
And what's amazing is that they brought in like a new drinks fridge earlier in the day. So they can.
It's right around the corner from where Nick
can
sits.
Have his energy drinks cold and on the ready. He doesn't even have to go upstairs anymore.
This could be a problem.
This might be a major problem. This might be Nick Savage's favorite day at work ever, right, Nick? He's not listening
because he got off of this show and he got 24 White Monsters.
God.
To me, it's Christmas Day.
Nick Savage.
He's ready to dial
summertime Santa.
He's living the dream, man. It's Hanukkah in late August.
Kay just said it's football season, and one of the things in my very loosely planned show that I had scheduled for today, because I was driving around town, and you start to see like the trucks going into Kyle Field, you start to see the tents being set up around West Campus. You start seeing just various tailgates, amenities, all these things that have to happen every week for game day. You start seeing them popping up. And obviously, A&M hasn't played a home football game since, Thanksgiving. And it's back. Yeah. And I think for me, it has changed when I start to feel the buzz around town, like about a football game happening. And hopefully A&M is going to play a lot more games with a ton more buzz than UTSA, but it is the season opener, so it does rank kind of high up on the list in terms of buzz around town.
Yeah, for sure.
When I was in grad school and before I really got this job, when I had a lot more free time on my hands, I really didn't start feeling like football game weekend vibes until Thursday night. Now, though, I start noticing things. I'm around campus a lot more. I feel like I drive more now than I did when I was a student. a grad student. So I see more things, and now like I felt it today driving around town. Like I felt, okay, football's back.
I want to answer this question, but first I want to say howdy to our one listener that's not a staffer. Well, I guess kind of is a staffer in the premium chat. Mama Lucci says, "Hey,
Dolo's here.
I love your new show." So shout out to Dolo. If we've got Dolo on our side, that means Billy can't shut us down.
That's exactly right.
Dolo, the TexAgs queen.
Thank you for pointing that out, because if Dolores is on our side, Billy can't fire us. I think she is the only person that has more leverage in this company than Billy. And look, this is something that's needed to happen for a long time. Can we tell the truth on this show?
Sure.
Okay. It's
truth,
Dolores Lucci,
fibs, light lies. I'm all about it.
Dolores Lucci's she's beyond due for an appearance in front of a camera with a microphone on.
It would be amazing if we could somehow surprise Billy and the Final Countdown gang on Friday morning.
Yes.
We just mic
closet.
her up, and she just pops up. She just pops out, and I would kill to see the face that Steve and Seth make, because I know the face that Billy's going to make, and I know what Billy's going to say. I just want to see what the McKinney brothers do and say.
I don't think that they could, like, Steve and Seth would be so into Dolores being on the show that they wouldn't allow Billy to kick her off like that. No, she has to stay.
They would move Nuno.
I don't think
Nuno to the social center. They'd let she'd be the fourth person on the chair.
Nuno to the social center. But so back to the question.
Okay, the question.
Thanks for listening, Dolores. More than welcome to hop in this chair anytime. Okay, we can talk about a lot of stuff.
She says we may have to drug Billy before I get on the show.
Well, whatever's necessary. It's the B team, Dolores. Like, we have no standards here. Okay, so it's all in play. It's all in play.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
Are you feeling the football buzz?
Not yet. Not yet. I'm kind of like you as
you're swamped with content right now.
As my role, yeah, exactly, and that's what I was getting to. As my role with TexAgs kind of changed, and I've had to take on a little bit more responsibility. I don't really feel the buzz probably until around Fridays.
Is that different
Fridays
from whenever you were a student?
Oh yeah, when I was a student, and it, like you said, it kind of varies with the game too. Like I was in school during Jimbo's first year, and we played #1 Clemson. Like, you could feel that, and I know that was game 2 of his tenure because they played that Thursday night game. You could feel the buzz like beginning Monday. Like, or walking around campus,
sure.
Like that was super exciting.
I remember that one. The only thing that put a damper on that one was the weather. Remember, it rained.
I remember, but like even then, like it did rain that afternoon, that evening. But that was still a super fun game day. Like the entire time, I had a blast, even though you were walking around kind of in the mud out of the tailgates and stuff. But you could feel the vibe and the energy around town for that game way before Saturday. Way before Saturday.
I seem to remember that as well. And that's a good call.
I'd say the same thing about last year, right? There was a lot of buzz around Texas A&M versus Notre Dame. Obviously, you were kicking off the Elko era. It was a top 25 showdown to begin the season. Night game at Kyle Field. We knew College Game Day was coming to Aggieland. The buzz surrounding that game was a lot more than it is now. But for me personally, haven't started feeling the buzz. As Brauny said, we're kind of swamped with content. It's a little bit more unorganized right now. Our director of sales, Miranda Powers, is out on maternity leave after welcoming her second child earlier this month. So I'm part of the crew that's trying to get everything to come together this week.
That's fair.
It being our first week of football season content-wise, it's a little bit more scrambling around than usual. So when I sign off for the day, I am not thinking about football or Texas A&M athletics at all. When I get home, and I did this last night,
it's time for Dodger baseball.
I want to watch 3 hours of baseball, and I want to go to sleep. So there's no buzz yet. But
what about you, Cade?
But I was going to finish my thought. Like, by the time we get here and we get to Friday and we do a Friday edition of TexAgs Live, and it's 2 hours of Billy, it's an hour of the McKinney brothers on the Final Countdown and stuff like that. Right around lunchtime on a Friday is when I'm ready to go. Like, I will be ready. I will be locked in. I'm excited to watch that Auburn-Baylor game on Friday night. I'm excited to get up early, watch my Tottenham Hotspur football club on Saturday morning, and lead that right into that big noon kickoff in Columbus.
I do enjoy the Premier Leagues being back early on Saturday morning. It gives me something to watch before game day starts.
100% agree. It makes it so much better.
And Cade, you're still young, but your time as like an undergrad, like when did you start feeling that, okay, it's almost game day. I can feel the vibes heightening throughout the week, or is it different now that you kind of work in sports media?
I think that it's interesting to think about now because I haven't really, it's weird because I haven't felt the vibes like usual this year so far because, they changed ticket pull to online. When you're on campus as a student, ticket pull, you feel the vibes on Monday because of ticket pull, because you see people lining up early in the morning, especially for a big game. I mean, some of these, UTSA games at noon or at 10 in the morning, you can just walk up and go grab a ticket. But, like for big games, everybody's still lining up and it'll be the afternoon on a Monday. So you know that it's football week.
Were you a ticket pull camper, Cade Bickham? Were you the guy that was in line and doing the actual pulling?
No, I did some shifts. But no, that's not me. I can't
soft.
I'm not tenting it.
You're soft.
You're right.
This kind of bleeds into the story, and this is something.
Time out. You're not what, Cade?
I'll use a different term next time.
You weren't.
And you were sitting there screaming soft at him.
Well, I did call him soft because he wasn't tinting. Anyways, we're going to... Cade, you bring up a great point. The online ticket pool, I hear a lot about it at home because my girlfriend works for 12th Man Foundation. It has taken out a little bit of the vibe, and it's kind of taken a little bit of the tradition out of it. When I was in school, I always pulled on Mondays with the seniors. And part of that was because I had a cousin, my cousin Bethany. She was in a sorority, and her sorority sisters wanted first deck tickets. They were seniors. They didn't want to sit out. They didn't want to wait in line. So I would, as long as I would get to pull with them. So I've never once sat on the third deck of Kyle Field.
Weren't you part of the problem then?
But no, we would pull within ratio. Like we would pull, it was fewer than 10 of us. They just wanted better seats. And I was more than willing to camp out on a Sunday night and sleep outside if it meant I had a good football ticket come Saturday. Those are honestly some of the most fun times.
Yeah, everybody you talked to that did ticket pull, it was a huge moment of their week, and everybody talks about, you read it on the message board a lot, like how much nostalgia they have about ticket pull. So it will be interesting, Cade. That's the best point that anybody has made on this, the infancy of the B team. So, tip of the hat to you on day one. Within 15 minutes, you made a better point than we did at any point yesterday or up to this point today. For those of you that are unaware, we are here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 4:15 to about 5:45, hour and a half. Catch you on your drive home. You can catch us on the TexAgs YouTube page, the TexAgs app, and then stream live on TexAgs.com on the premium chat. We have premium chats. Richard's got that up. I am checking the YouTube chat. If you have something you want to just talk about, yesterday we went through kind of what the bits are going to be for this show. Top 5 Tuesdays is something I think that's going to stick.
Yeah,
but
I like
Wednesdays, we're workshopping some other stuff. Today, I can't remember how I phrased it. Oh, here we go. We learned Wednesday or Wisdom Wednesday. So I'm workshopping that. We learned Wednesday or Wisdom Wednesday. Thursday, I'm still on this trivia thing if I can make it work and we can have some punishments for incorrect answers. But I don't know if I'm full-time on that yet. So if you have ideas for the show and you think something would be cool, something would be fun, you want to send us something up here to try, you can certainly do that. We will try it on this show. There really is. It's supposed to be a variety show with a sports theme. So we are accepting donations and we are for sale. Aren't we, Richard?
Always.
Hey, if you want to sponsor the B team,
$20 is $20.
I will put your logo on a NASCAR on this desk and you'll be the only logo we got if you want to do it. And that will be an attempt to rub NASCAR right in Nick Savage's face for leaving after show 1. Big NASCAR guy.
I would like to point out that Nick Savage will be hosting most Wednesdays, and here most Wednesdays. I will be here Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay. So Nick didn't leave us full time.
No, he wouldn't do that.
But if you want to super chat us and you want your text read, we're going to read it as long as it is not vulgar or profane. We had a couple of them come in yesterday. We're going to read it. And we have a very loose agenda on this show. We don't have scheduled talking points. We're going to get into some stuff that we actually talked about yesterday. And let's start with this, Cade. We talked a little bit about game day happening. And then on Tuesday's show, we spoke a lot about this episode that between Barstool and Fox and Ohio State, Dave Portnoy not being allowed in the Horseshoe, Ohio State, Texas, Big Noon Kickoff, all that stuff. And then I think it was probably after we went off yesterday, Big Cat from Barstool on Pardon My Take addressed the issue, and it does sound like this is Ohio State that did this. So go ahead and play that clip.
Here's what I know, and you could tell me if this is wrong or not. I think what happened is Ohio State doesn't want us there. That's a fact. We were going to be there. The Barstool College Football Show was going to be in Columbus on Saturday against Texas Ohio State. They said no. Ohio State said no. You cannot be on campus. We had our travel booked. Like, this isn't just me making it up. We were ready to go. And then I think it obviously came out. And then Ohio State might have been like, well, this kind of doesn't look great that we're trying to ban someone. So Fox maybe jumped in and was like, hey, we're not going to have him in any stadium. I do think Ohio State doesn't want Barstool on campus. I think it's great for the rivalry, by the way. I have no problem with Ohio State being petty here. I think Ohio State fans should have no blame. Like, no one should be going after Ohio State fans. This is all great for the rivalry, but Ohio State does not want Barstool on campus next to the Big Noon Kickoff set. They don't want that, and they basically told us that.
So I agree with you in that this is great for the rivalry.
It's super interesting that Big Cat views it through that lens. He openly says Ohio State doesn't want us there. We probably need to examine why does Ohio State not want the Barstool brand there? It's really interesting. What do they have to lose? I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they're coming off a national championship. Barstool has positioned themselves as one of the most recognizable, most watched media companies in the entire world.
Sure.
They have huge personalities in Big Cat, in Dave Portnoy. Pardon My Take is the biggest podcast in the world. One of them.
It's probably right behind the Kelsey brothers.
Yes, but it's we're talking top 5 podcast in the world and in the United States. Why would Ohio State want to distance themselves from Barstool with all of this going on and the premier game in week 1? I really don't know, but I love that. That's why I like Big Cat. I don't love everything that Barstool does. I like Big Cat because he doesn't get upset. He views it through the lens of like, hey, this is actually going to help us, and we get to talk about this all week, and it's good for the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. But to lay this marker down for your Ohio State, and is it because they don't like the way Barstool does stuff? They don't like some of the stuff Barstool says. Barstool does have huge Ohio State fans. Mark Titus is a former Ohio State basketball player, and he works for Barstool. It's just, I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong. I find it very interesting, and I also love the way that Big Cat is viewing this.
How about this? I don't think it has anything to do with the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry. I think there are some people out there who view Barstool and the like as non-traditional media outlets because they are untraditional. And some people might view them as quote-unquote trash outlets. They attract a certain type of fan that maybe they don't want in their venue. But I will say this. What the stereotypes around guys who follow Barstool religiously, I think that Venn diagram, there is a ton of overlap with Ohio State Buckeye football fans.
I think there's a ton of overlap with college football fans in general.
Yep.
And what made Barstool, how they separated themselves is that they were not traditional media. And so let me ask you this. If ESPN was covering the game and College Game Day was going to Columbus, would they not let Pat McAfee on the set? Would they not let Pat McAfee in the stadium? Because he started his media stuff with Barstool, broke off. ESPN is now running his show, and he's non-traditional media, and he's open about it. He talks about, and Josh Pate who is the premier voice, I think, in college football right now. Would you argue that? Josh Pate goes on Bussin' with the Boys and talks about traditional media, suit media is moving out. And they were specifically talking about McAfee and tank top. I think I can't remember the exact wordage that Pate used, but he talked about McAfee and his tank top and being authentic and people being really entertained by that. And that the suits were kind of out in sports media. And is it changing for the long haul? Who knows? But right here, right now, that makes a ton of sense to me.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. It would be interesting if Ohio State ever tried to block out Desmond Howard. That would really make me feel like it was an Ohio State-Michigan thing. That's why I don't think this is Ohio State-Michigan. Like, I don't think this has to do with the rivalry. I think this more has to do with how certain people in Columbus are viewing Barstool as an outlet. And Barstool might not be traditional, but they are a legitimate outlet.
Oh, very much so.
They do very good coverage. Their coverage is different from what you've become accustomed to from outlets like ESPN or CBS Sports, stuff like that.
And their umbrella is huge,
but
right?
That's okay.
Like
it's a different angle. We always say, what's the angle? Barstool takes different angles on their stuff, but it doesn't make it right or wrong.
It's just it's an interesting take. And obviously we don't have anybody from Ohio State to give us their line of reasoning on this. But one thing that Barstool has done is they've branched out and they've done so much lifestyle stuff, right? And it's grown them. It's still called Barstool Sports, but you know this beach house thing they're doing, they're making reality television, and so it has grown into. And that's why I think Big Cat takes it this way. It's like this isn't hurting us. Like this isn't going to take away from the shine of Barstool and where it's at. And so I just really respect and like I'm kind of. It made me think about, hey, how do I view competitors or when stuff doesn't go our way as a company, view it through that lens because, you know, for lack of a better term, we're in this market, we are as big as anybody or bigger than everybody.
I like to think so. I like to think we're bigger and better than everybody in this market.
But I don't think it's a Michigan thing if they're denying other media entities.
Sure.
But the fact that Portnoy, you know, let's call it what it is. He went out and bought Bryce Underwood or helped buy Bryce Underwood, right? And he's going to be the starting quarterback at Michigan. He's making selfie videos addressing this in a Michigan hat. And he's constantly talking about being a Michigan man and how Ohio State, they cower in front of Michigan men and stuff like that. So he definitely knows how to, whatever kind of pond he's put in, he knows how to swim. And he's kind of figured out how to swim to the top a lot, and he's doing it right here. And in a way, he's been able to spin this in favor of his company. You got to hand it to the guy. He's good at that.
What I'm very interested in, and to bring it back to a semi-Texas A&M angle, is how it seems to be yet another PR moment that Mr. Ross Bjork has gotten incorrect. Because he had to go and say something, and it's getting shot down by people on the other side immediately.
Yeah, that to me, for Big Cat to come out and be that bold about it, I don't think he is in a, like, why would he lie about it? Why, if it was Fox saying, yeah, we're not going to let them do that, then I think Big Cat, hey, Fox didn't want us there.
Yeah. And
he would say like that. So I don't think he's have any motivation to fudge the truth or anything like that. So it's all super interesting. It has been a good bridge to me. And what do you think, Kate? Like, it's been a good bridge for me this week to help me get closer to game day. Like, I've been kind of tracking and following this, really interested. It helps my days go by.
I think that's fair. I think it's interesting. I think it's all, I mean, it's all just a little bit stupid, but, you know, like, it's a fun, like, storyline before week one. I think everybody's just itching so hard to get some actual football that we're just, you know, running with the storylines until we get there.
Well, what happens if, you know, we'll see. I mean, does Fox Big Noon Kickoff, there's a good chance that this is the only time they go to Columbus.
No, I don't think this is going to be the only time they go to Columbus. I don't know who else Ohio State has on their schedule, but I mean, the Ohio State Buckeyes could very well be a top 10 team all year, regardless of what happens on Saturday afternoon, right? Not a night game. Weird. Against Texas. But I mean, there's going to be some marquee matchups in the Big Ten, and there's going to also be some lackluster weeks in the Big Ten where maybe they take a trip back to Columbus. I think that's going to happen.
We are going to pick some games tomorrow around the country and kind of get in some storylines. Maybe do some.
Oh, hey, speaking of Fox, breaking news. Fox and YouTube TV have agreed to a short-term extension while they work through a new agreement. Shout out Callie Garner for texting me that. She said, since y'all talked about it yesterday, here it is. Big.
It's important in my household.
Big. A lot of people around the country now going to get to watch a full slate of Week 1
Does it
games
have parameters?
on Fox.
I mean, I guess I could look it up, but it would distract from the show. Kate, maybe you can look it up to see if there's parameters of when this starts and ends. Obviously, it starts today.
Don't mess with it, Kate. I'll look it up, and I'll look up when they have to have a full finalized agreement. But the fact that they have a temporary one in place sounds to me like the two sides are coming closer together. Maybe they're just splitting hairs on dollar amounts, like small dollar amount figures, and also maybe length of deal for their carriage moving forward.
The headlines I'm seeing are saying reach short-term deal extension to avoid blackout.
That's good. That's what I'm saying. Like that's exactly what this reads. It's a short-term deal, which means you'll be okay for this week and probably the next few weeks while they work through a longer-term deal. But the fact that they came to a short-term deal leads me to believe that the sides are at least close. That's just assuming.
Yeah, and that is big for me because I was talking about it yesterday. I was going to have to find a new, streaming platform or provider. And listen, everything was bundled. Then it's gone to streaming, and you start looking at prices on some of this stuff. And I have a reason that I need to be looking at, being cost efficient in my household. I think everybody has various reasons to try to be as cost efficient as possible. And I was looking at YouTube TV, and if they were going to not carry Fox Sports broadcast, I was going to have to make a decision. And I got close, and I have to do the math on this. I think this would work. Just paying for ESPN and ESPN Plus via the app, and then kind of picking and choosing your channels that you want. Like, I think that's going to be cheaper than the package that I've got through YouTube TV right now.
I mean, that's yeah. Oh, there's been a desire for an a la carte option for a long time. It's just never been worked out, and a reason is that the TV stations themselves, the individual networks, can get more money by being bundled together.
Sure.
And until that changes, and until too many people cut the cord or people start, then I'll even say that YouTube TV, Fubo, those are essentially the same thing as cable providers now. Until people stop wanting to use those platforms.
How many channels do you watch? I think that goes into, like, how much time do you spend in front of your TV watching actual TV? For me, I watch sports, and that's it.
I'm similar to you. I've watched a lot of sports, but I'm on a lot of MLB.TV. I'm on ESPN's platform, even though I think there are a lot of bugs that need to be worked out on ESPN Plus and whatever streaming services you get through
Think about
SEC
how much
Network Plus, stuff like that. But, like, when I'm actually watching TV, I'm kind of getting to my old man phase. Hell yeah, I like watching Jeopardy in the late afternoon, early evening. Then
Jeopardy?
I like watching the news, and then I like putting on a game.
I can't watch the news.
I'm not watching sitcoms that are on right now.
I don't watch
I'm
the
not
news.
watching reality TV. We missed the boat in my household on the Love Island things for this
Thank
season.
God.
Maybe I'll get in on it next year because everybody loves it so much. But I'm out on Bachelor in Paradise, whatever the girlies are watching now. Jenna's not watching that, so I'm not watching that. And she likes to watch baseball too, which helps me feed my baseball addiction.
Those shows that you just listed, you'd have to come up with over $400, $500, pay me and I'll watch them. That's where I'm at on those type of shows. I have zero desire to watch it. And the news, I think the news is as toxic as you can make it over the last decade. It's designed that way. It's designed to make you emotional.
Sure.
One way or the other, and it's designed to get you riled up and mad. And I got better ways to spend my time. So I only
what
want
I will
sports.
use the news for, local news I think is starting to get more and more important as I set down some permanent roots here. But like the national news and stuff, I understand it's full of spin and bias and all of that. but I will at least use it as a launching point of these are the current events, the topics that are going on right now, and I will inform myself a little bit more in different ways.
I mean, I can get that from Twitter.
Viewpoints.
Like, I can get it from Twitter. For me, where I
My
don't have to
Twitter
sit down
algorithm is just a bunch of sports. I haven't.
I
Mine's
don't
not
follow
that way
much
yet.
news. Like I follow KBTX. Shout out KBTX local news. I don't follow national news. To me, and this is one of the, and we're not like, back to back days, Cade. We're getting into the political stuff, but here's the thing: if my water line breaks, am I going to call the Secretary of Utilities in Washington D.C. or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, I care more about what's going on here locally around me. I think that has more of an impact on my day-to-day life. I don't think whoever's sitting in a chair in Washington, it impacts my life very much. I just haven't experienced. Maybe I'm very naive there. I'm openly admitting I could be very naive there. It just doesn't move my needle one way or the other. I care way more about what medians are getting put where in College Station.
Yeah.
But to go back
all
to
over the place, that's the answer, Brauny.
To go back to my original point is that, to me, ESPN, the app, and ESPN Plus are non-negotiables in my house because of the college baseball element. And that you pay for ESPN Plus, and then on any springtime day, I can go and watch any college baseball game that I want. And we know that the A&M games are broadcasted. The midweeks especially are broadcasted only on SEC Network Plus or ESPN Plus. Yeah. So to me, that is a non-negotiable. I have to have it. From there, from that ESPN package, I got to sit there and go, all right, what other sports do I intake? And which one of these, whether it's YouTube TV, Fubo, Hulu, what's the cheapest one that gets me all of those? So like NBC Sports and USA for the Premier League, and then Fox for baseball. I'm blacked out of the Houston Astros. I've got to find interesting ways to keep up with my favorite baseball team. But if that's not an option for me here with a limited sports package or a limited bundle overall for a cheap price, I would just rather like almost go back to the old cable box days and just get channels 2 through 12 and then pick my ESPN Plus thing that I want to watch.
Well, yeah. So my roommate and I were actually discussing something similar to this last night. We were watching the U.S. Open, which I know neither of you watch tennis.
Hey, you wanna bet? Hey, can I dynamite drop in on U.S. Open right now, Cade Bickham? Since you tested my knowledge,
go ahead, drop some knowledge.
Do you know who Arthur Rinderknecht is?
I do. He played tennis at Texas A&M. I believe he's playing later today or right now.
Nope, wrong. He's done for the day. You know why? Because he upset the 18 seed Alejandro Davidovich, a Spaniard, in the second round, 5-set.
Alexander Daddario.
Oh, no. Amazing. Love her. Different guy. This is an Alejandro Davidovich.
Different guy?
Different person, human. Different human being. She's very much not a guy.
How do you know that?
Because that's the reason I love her. She's so
I thought you may have seen
great
something.
Actress. Oh. Loved her in The White Lotus.
Didn't she have
Definitely
a scene
not
with
a True Detective with Woody Harrelson?
She had a scene with Billy Bob Thornton, I believe, right?
I think it's Woody Harrelson, not Billy Bob Thornton.
Billy Bob Thornton was in, what was it with Halle Berry? What was that movie? Oh, this probably double your age, Cade.
You're not going to get the answer out of me on this one.
So anyways, yeah. There you go, Cade Bickham. Test me about the U.S. Open again.
Okay,
so
go back to your point,
apologies.
though.
My point was we were talking about, like, I just made the point it would be awesome if some streaming service could just package together everywhere I watch sports. I would pay $100 a month just for a streaming service that had all the sports. And I don't need anything else. I don't need any other channels. I just need
the exact
everything
same
that gives
way.
me all the sports.
So we've come so far away from the, you have your traditional cable TV, and then we went to satellite, and then it went to, fiber optic cable, and now we're at these streaming services where they're bundled. I know.
Jenna told me to calm down.
Oh, Jenna, I thought Dalton's in the chat, and
no,
Dalton's actually providing good advice in the chat. I'm gonna have to go back here and read some of this. I don't know that I've ever said that Dalton Hughes has given good advice, but he's actually breaking some of this stuff down. The cheapest that it can be, $94 a month for ESPN Plus, Disney, and Hulu all included. I don't know about is Disney a requisite here? Like, I have no interest in Disney. I'm not.
It's a bundle.
Groomer.
It's a bundle.
Oh,
the Disney Plus has like Hulu Live TV and ESPN. Well, so
yeah, it all comes
also
together.
on the TexAgs premium chat, the Gut 101 says Hulu is the way to go. You still get ESPN Plus access and most of the other sports channels, parentheses Fox, CBS, NBC.
So NBC, would that include Premier League games? Because like for me, I know
think it does because I think it includes USA.
I'm paying for Peacock now, so I can stream all of them. Apparently,
is that worth
Well,
it?
that's not true actually. So because Peacock, there are games that play on just USA and Universo that don't play on Peacock. Like usually it's like the 10:30 game on Sunday and then the 11:30 on Saturday. Those
What?
ones just
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
But
But I also know that if you're playing in Europe, like both of our clubs are, you got to watch on Paramount Plus. Like you're all over the place. Like they are going to nickel and dime you to death. Like if you're not smart with what you're subscribed to, like you are paying way more than whatever a cable a cable subscription was back in the day.
Do you know who's got a pretty sweet setup in terms of like soccer broadcast? Telemundo.
Yeah, but
I know, but if you just want to watch it, they have a lot of European games, and I get Telemundo on
good way to learn how
on
to be
YouTube
bilingual.
TV. So I can work on my Spanish if I want to, or I can press mute. Like this is another thing that can lead me down.
I work on my Spanish by tuning into TexAgs Live.
What makes you irrationally angry? That's what I have written down on the show prep today, and this is a good segue into that.
So
what makes you irrationally angry? People that complain about announcers when you have a mute button and a volume button on your remote control. If you don't like listening to me call baseball games and you don't like listening to Nuno, well, I guess if you like TexAgs, you kind of have to like listening to Nuno. But you know what I'm saying? If Dave Schuman's calling a game or Tom Hart's calling a game, whoever, and you don't like this guy and you don't like what he has to say, just hit the mute button. I don't understand complaining about that. Or making an announcement that I don't like this. I don't like this. I'm never going to watch this. I'm never going to respond to this. Why is TexAgs producing this? You don't have to say any of that. Just say, oh, you know what? I don't like this content. I'm not going to intake it, and I don't have to tell the world about it.
I agree.
That makes me irrationally angry, especially
Just shut up.
the announcer thing. Just to put it on mute.
My favorite thing about it, the announcer thing, is when everybody gets up in arms about Joe Buck calling the World Series or a Super Bowl because you think he is a terrible broadcaster and he's biased against your team. News flash. I watch way too many Dodger games. I get used to listening to Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser. If it's not Joe, it's Steven Nelson filling in. They've got a rotating color commentator now. That is the Homer broadcast. That becomes your normal. So when you listen to anything that is more center down the line and they praise the Houston Astros for doing something good rather than your Homer guy might brush it off, that shouldn't upset you. They are still the world-class broadcasters and play-by-plays. That's why they're on these networks. Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, they don't just hire these guys with no talent and no skills to cover and to host and to broadcast these ratings booms, because if they were so bad at their jobs, people would turn them off. Would turn them off.
And how do you tie that to here locally? That's something that like Will Johnson has to go through. So whenever he calls baseball games and they're just on SEC Network Plus and they're just the A&M, it's usually a midweek game, he can be a little bit more homerish, right? But whenever they're putting him on SEC Network or he's being broadcasted, maybe it's A&M versus LSU, there's going to be a lot of LSU fans tuning in. He's got to play it more down the middle. Whereas like when I'm on the radio call with Monaco hates umpires. I don't know if you know this about him. He loves mustard and he hates umpires.
I know.
It's beautiful to watch.
I know all of this.
Beautiful to watch. Andrew Monaco, one of my favorite people on the planet.
He's
a
an
gem.
amazing human being.
And so Andrew and I can be homerish. And, I went to Nashville for the Vanderbilt series. Will Johnson was on the play-by-play. We didn't have a lot to talk about in that series, but we got to have a little bit more homerish view. And I've always wondered, like, what would happen if I went to that TV side? How would I
You could do it.
take the reins off. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be kind of pick and choose how you describe stuff.
You can do it. And I am an Aggie. I work for a company called TexAgs. I go to Texas A&M sporting events. You can assume that when I am in a press box that I want Texas A&M to win the game. You can assume that. When I am behaving in a press box, when I am asking questions, and when I ultimately write, I don't want you to know that I'm an Aggie.
You ask questions in post-game pressers?
Sometimes they land me on SportsCenter.
Okay, did you have a whoa moment whenever you got to start working with Richard Zane, the guy that got to be on SportsCenter because he asked the question?
Cade knew me before that.
Oh, okay.
That's true. I've
Cade
been
was
here a while.
before the summer of Schloss.
We're not going to label it that.
I was here. Summer 23 is when I got here.
Yeah, he was here before that.
Okay. Well, I do agree
Things that make me irrationally angry. That man. Just kidding. He was, again, good to me when I had to cover him. Had one moment in Omaha, moved on.
Yeah, I think we all
that
have.
fit the joke. That comment fit the joke. I just want to make sure everybody knows that is a joke.
Well, we can clip this and make it seem however we want to. Isn't that right, Cade?
Oh, no.
It is the B team.
Context.
No. Other things that make me irrationally angry.
Can I give you one? Because it happened to me on the way to work.
Mine was just going to be everything. But yeah.
You do get irrationally angry sometimes, and you get in a mood.
Like
It's tough to get you out.
Tiniest thing.
But your mother warned us about that one day at a TexAgs tailgate.
Yes, she did.
And she told our former employee and good friend Jamie Morey that if you ever start acting a certain way, to slap you. Your mother said that.
I know that. Yeah.
But you know what makes me irrationally angry? And look, I won't even say bad drivers make me irrationally angry. Unaware drivers make me irrationally angry. And I have you see road rage incidents kind of all the time now. I've got no premonition or I've got no intention of getting out of my car and fighting somebody. But when you have zero awareness of what's going on around you, most of the time that I'm finding now that the students are back, it's because they're looking at their phone. It makes it makes my blood boil. And when I get on the highway, please, for the love of all things holy, quit getting in the hammer lane and going 60 miles an hour.
I had one yesterday, okay?
Fires me up to no end.
After I ate dinner, it was probably about 7 o'clock in the evening. I was going to get a tank of gas and 24 White Monsters from Costco. I'm on Greens Prairie. I guess it might be at Arrington Road. And I'm at that intersection, Greens Prairie and Arrington. And there is like a jacked up Ford, like 350 in front of me. Light turns green. Dude doesn't move for like 3 seconds. Okay, honk, makes a move. Okay. He goes up to the next light because there's another light right there when you get onto 40. I'm trying to turn right. He gets on the right-hand turn lane. Doesn't move.
People that don't turn right
realizes he wants to turn left, so he sits in front of me for the entire light cycle, and then when the light turns green, he peels out and goes. I was fuming, man, because I sat there, it should be a 5-minute drive from my apartment to the Costco. I didn't get on Fitch for 6 minutes because of that moron.
Well, the traffic,
which in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of times. But in the moment, it was so annoying.
Do you realize the traffic in this town, your ability to get from point A to point B in a timely manner is dictated by red lights? It really is. Think about whenever you're going in College Station, in Bryan College Station. If you can get on 6, that helps. But where we live, you can get on 6 pretty quick.
No,
but where I live,
I think you can get on. Yeah, I can get on 6 pretty quick. But trying to get on Welborn to get to the office.
Oh, it's a disaster.
It is the city of College Station makes me irrationally angry because
this is good for our show.
They've got. It's like a master class in what not to do from a civil engineering thing. The traffic patterns here are atrocious.
I'd like to know whose idea the medians were.
The light at George Bush and Olson Boulevard has got to be the dumbest light anywhere on the planet.
It backs up.
So stupid. But here's the thing. I'm going to soccer games like before the students come back. So a couple weeks ago, and I am trying to turn left onto George Bush off of Olson Boulevard. It didn't give me a protected green or a turn arrow for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody was going through the light.
But you know what resets it? The train messes with it. It definitely does.
So stupid.
Yes,
I hate that
does.
light with all of my being.
If you're listening to this and you don't drive in College Station very often, I'm going to give you a tip. Cross the railroad track where you can.
Yep.
Because if you go down a little bit further, there's a train coming. And I've lived here since 2010. I actually told this to somebody today. I've lived here since 2010. That train noise and the nuisance of the train hasn't wavered. What makes me irrationally angry? That train that runs right through the middle of town. And I know it's there. I've lived here for 15, 16 years. But it still makes me angry, and that noise makes me angry.
In the grand scheme of things, our traffic is so light compared to places like Austin and Dallas.
Oh,
and
we went to that Texas series.
Austin.
How do you live there?
Man, Austin's pretty tough.
It's a pretty
it's
area.
So bad.
But you can't move ever. It's
pretty,
1 p.m. on a Saturday,
I don't
and
know
you're
how
stuck
they
in traffic.
deal with that. Like, could you imagine being a student having to commute to school there? Like, impossible. Commuting to work to downtown, and downtown's exploded since
It's the worst.
We were
It's the
both
worst
kids.
big city, I think, in the state of Texas, without question, in terms of traffic.
Traffic-wise?
It's jumped Houston. It's
Houston's
jumped
pretty
Dallas.
bad.
See, here's the thing about Houston.
Okay, well, so I have a take on this, and it kind of relates to how people drive here. So when all the students come back, they're all coming from like the big cities that they live in. Most people are living in Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. They all come here and drive like it's Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio. They don't turn on their blinkers when they're changing lanes. They
have a
do
very
stupid
low
things
grasp
on
of
the
I think
where
highway.
turn lanes are.
Yes.
And Kate's
So
bringing
bad.
up the point is like we get so used to driving around this place when it feels like a small town. Like it's an actual small town, the population isn't that high, and that's the breaks. Whether it be Christmas break or summer break, like driving around College Station's amazing. And then when the students come back, and obviously they're the reason this place exists. I'm not trying to hate on the students at all.
Yeah, you townie.
It just picks up like 100 times. It makes it so much worse.
There at some point, it feels like in the near future, they're going to have to expand Highway 6, because I don't know if you've been on Highway 6 between probably 4:30 and 5:30, starting at about Barron Road, really Rock Prairie, going all the way north to University in College Station, that little section of Highway 6 before you get to Bryan.
Yeah.
It backs up every day. And there's nothing really, it's just so many cars trying to enter the freeway at once. So maybe I would hope that the next step, and I'll complain about it, and that's what I'm going to do. If they try to widen Highway 6 and make it 3 or 4 lanes, I will complain while that construction's going on.
It will take
you
light
see-
years for them.
and
It
so
will
will
take
you, Kay.
light years for them to do that.
Did you see on
Light
Monday
years.
there
Oh,
was
that Welborn project took forever.
They're going to
it
do
took
another one.
so long.
They're going to do another one.
They're doing one right out here.
Yes, it's going to be terrible. It's going to ruin traffic. If they better not start it during football season.
Buddy,
I heard
that's
they're
a
doing-
worst idea
multi-year
ever.
project. What they're proposing, that interchange, that over-under thing,
It's about, I heard
that's
it's-
going to be a multi-year project, dude. It doesn't matter if they start it during football season. It's
Yeah, it's
going
gonna
to
cross,
suck regardless.
I heard they're making. See, I thought what they were doing was exactly what they did at Welborn and where the bell tower is. I thought they
Yeah.
were making that type of intersection, but I heard today it's like where it's the same intersection as where like Welborn meets Villa Maria and Bryan. Like they're carving it down underneath.
Yeah,
And then they're gonna have
That's my understanding of it too. And man,
like they're elevated exits from what I
that's gonna
heard.
be yes. That's gonna take years. It's going to make commuting to this office terrible.
Yeah, we have a Longhorn in the chat that said he's been living in Austin since 2013, and the traffic's not as bad as
Hey,
Aggies make it seem to be.
I know you're running the 1s and 2s and stuff, dude. Can you run and get me a water?
Too much. You got
I
an
sound
energy
like
drink.
I'm crying,
That's
dude.
not you have the wrong type of energy drink in your hand.
You can't
There's
see-
24
Can't see the label.
24 liquid nectars back there, according to Nick Savage. He should have taken them home. Anyway, he said that the traffic in Austin isn't as bad as we make it out to be. I'm not there a ton, but every time I'm there, regardless of what I'm going for, we went for the baseball series in the spring.
Mopac is evil.
I used to have to go to Austin Westlake
35
quite a
in
bit.
Austin
Yeah.
is evil.
Anywhere around downtown is a disaster.
Last time I went to Austin was for Mike Elko's coaches night. And if you recall, that was the week before the NCAA baseball regionals. Oh, Cage, I love you, dude,
Legend.
so much.
Catch it.
Oh,
Nice.
Sorry.
Got a pair of left-handed athletes
Gonna
there.
take a break right here.
Oh, I thought we were about to go.
No, I don't crush it like you do.
It's
Anyways,
too cold.
so
Can't crush a cold water.
that was like the Wednesday before the NCAA regional, and there was one in Austin this year, and that's when that storm blew through and like shut down, like took out the batter's eye. Dude, I got caught on one of the highways. It didn't help. Oh,
Richard's crying talking
it was
about
one
Austin
of
traffic.
the most. Yeah, I'm crying. It's one of the most terrifying moments I've ever like lived through. Like being stuck on the highway. Like it's raining so hard that I can't see from me to you. So scary. It's
I always
the
thought
most
that-
scared I've ever been, and it just made traffic in Austin 1,000 times worse.
Well, I'm talking like any kind of scenario like that is going to make traffic bad wherever you are. Like you get caught in storms where, in Beaumont, you're going to be in a bind. Actually, growing up in Beaumont, I-10 both in and out has been under construction since I was about 5 years old. And especially when you get to that little sector between Beaumont and Orange, or you're going through Vider, it's a really rough patch, and it's always been that way. But to your
Was
point,
that Vider reference because we're talking about quintessential Texas towns later?
no. Oh boy, you went there.
I did.
But what I was going to say is Austin has a traffic problem consistently. I can go, and I drive around Houston as much as anybody at this company, and I've been down. I go down there a lot, right? Like covering high school football all over the city of Houston. I did it for the better part of 10 years. I'm doing less of it now. I'm going to Houston less than I did, but a lot of that's because we got a guy living in South Houston that helps us out so much going to these high school games. But you can kind of attack Houston at certain times. If you enter Houston 11:30 to 12:30 and you go and get your stuff done, and really you could probably bump that up to like 10. Get into Houston about 10, get your stuff done, and then try to leave by 3, you're usually in the clear. Usually. So there are times of the day that you can attack all sectors of Houston. But Austin, I've not ever been on any day of the week at any time when there isn't a massive amount of traffic. Houston,
It's
guaranteed,
all right.
610 South by the Galleria is going to be traffic. That's the only place that I've seen clogs up every day consistently.
Austin has its areas where it's fine. It has its time. I've got a aunt who lives in. I've got a couple family members in Austin. Actually, I've got one that lives down near. Was it Glass Onion Parkway or something? And then I've got another one that lives off of the Capital of Texas Freeway. It's all right. Like there's the traffic there's not terrible. It's definitely rush hour when it gets as brutal as anywhere in the state.
I'll tell you what, for me, driving in traffic, the two cities that I function in the best in the state of Texas are Houston and San Antonio. San Antonio is maddening because they
Is that
move.
because they've got good food or what?
No. San Antonio is maddening because they move, but they move slowly. It's like, go. Like you can drive in San Antonio and you get around all those downtown locations and you're going on 37 or 10 or whatever.
You ever driven in Atlanta?
Not real. Yes, but like
It's
I don't
stop and
count
go
that. Yeah.
because they're always running into each other. There's so many fender benders on the side of highways in Atlanta. Georgia.
I don't.
It's
I
nuts.
don't. I'm just. I don't go to Atlanta a lot, so it doesn't really register for me. But
Stop running into each other.
and Houston is so compared to Dallas. Houston is the elementary school of how to kind of navigate a city. It's two intersecting.
Dalton is on one in the chat, man. He
know.
just said, "Gotta love big women in San Antonio."
Dalton, are you having some Wednesday happy hour bev or what?
He also asked
Houston,
about the one
I-10
time I drove in a snowstorm from Austin to Bryan. God,
I-10, 45.
had to go see about a girl.
And then 3 concentric circles emanating from the center of that axis. Very easy to navigate. Dallas, Fort Worth is a disaster. Everything's a toll road. And it looks like a bowl of spaghetti. Like, I don't know how, like, who designed all that?
Where's that? You're talking DFW?
Yeah.
Oh, it's easy.
It is not easy.
It's easy.
Just look at the map.
It's easy. It's
One
easy.
of them makes perfect sense to me. And another thing about DFW, when I go up there, I'm like, okay, I'm driving. How do I know if I'm in Rockwall or Frisco or Burleson? Like, I feel like it all runs together You're all looking like it all looks the same out of your windows to your left and right, and you just enter in new towns.
We got a dude that says he's listening to this while stuck in Houston traffic.
Where are you at?
Where are you
Sax
at?
player?
Yeah, where are you at? Let
And you
us
must
know.
be going slow enough where you can type a message on the YouTube chat. I hope you're going slow
610
enough.
in the Galleria.
Yeah,
for
610
sure.
south at the Galleria.
We moving on.
Yeah, so yeah, things that all started with things that make us irrationally angry.
Mine would be everything. Just waking up on the wrong side of that. I've got so many stupid things that make me irrationally angry.
I've also got a bunch of stuff that I'm bad at that I've realized as I've gotten older.
I remember being at an A&M baseball game one year. They were playing Houston. I can't remember the situation, but obviously I was there as a fan. I was a student. And I remember being so mad at something Houston did because it was just like stupid baseball strategy. Like stupid baseball, like dumb strategy stuff. Like
What year is this?
makes me so. It was like 2000. It's got to be like 17 or 18. Like it was before I was
the
a TexAgs.
start of their like run.
It was like it's like they did something, and it was like, what are you doing? Like, of course, I want the Aggies to like run through you, like destroy you and embarrass you, but like you guys are doing it to yourselves. I'm paying to be here. I don't want to watch this. You guys suck, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that upset me.
It feels like you came in with this sort of energy today.
We doing.
I've had a
quintessential
day,
Texas
man.
towns?
I can tell you, I have had a day. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
And that rhymed.
Quintessential Texas towns was also on this list. And when I say quintessential Texas towns, this is my definition of that. Somebody is coming to the state of Texas for the first time. Where are you bringing them to make them feel like the biggest Texas vibe? What's going to give the state of Texas the stereotypical best feel for this person where they can come in and they say, you know what?
Fort Worth and San Antonio.
I 1,000% agree. It's going to make for very bad listening, though, if we agree on that, and that's the end of it. But Fort Worth and San Antonio were my two as well.
Fort Worth and San Antonio, different vibes. Obviously, San Antonio's got a ton of history with the Alamo and stuff like that. But then they've got a lot of amazing food. That's kind of where the Tex meets the Mex, right? And then, of course, Fort Worth doing it with all the Cowtown stuff's pretty cool.
I would keep them away from Dallas and Houston.
I don't think so. Dallas and Houston are great cities. I think they are. They are not tourist spots at all.
They're so like diverse now, and they've gotten so big that it's
like if somebody's
they're
going to
cool.
do,
I love
if somebody's going to be a tourist going into Houston, Texas, where are they going to go? Like Space Center Houston and what else?
NASA.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
And
that's really not even
and it's the same thing. And I'm from DFW, and I love my hometowns. Where like all my friends and family are there. Love it. Like somebody's going to be a tourist and go to Dallas, Texas. What are you going to do? Like Sixth Floor Museum? Like sure, like that's pretty good history.
Where is
stuff.
Lubbock on this list?
Lubbock.
I was actually
What
about
is
to
Lubbock?
mention Lubbock because
Oh.
it smells so bad there, but that's what you would expect if you're thinking like cowboys.
Well, if the
cow,
only thing you know about Texas is
yeehaw.
Landman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then you're going to
Midland and
expect the oil
Odessa?
stuff.
Yuck.
Midland, Odessa. But I could not. Midland, Lubbock, Odessa.
See, when
If you live out there,
when
God
you
love you.
originally sent this, I was like quintessential Texas towns. And I'm gonna be like, oh, like quaint, has a lot of stuff going for it that like kind of off the beaten path.
Okay,
But
you
I
want to
was
go
like,
small town?
it's like
I could go that.
Are we doing
I could play in that
Fredericksburg,
ballpark.
Or are we saying Wimberley?
Fredericksburg,
What?
Wimberley would be both great shouts. Round Top. When's the last time you've been to Round Top?
I don't think I've ever been around top.
Round Top's cool, man. I throw Brenham in there.
I went to Brenham a couple weeks ago for the first time. Brenham was cool. One of my cousin, her 9-year-old son came and spent the weekend with us, and we took him to Bluebell Factory.
Bluebell's great. They've done
Best deal on the planet, by the way. $1 scoop at the
yeah.
ice cream parlor.
and they've got every flavor they've ever invented.
Amazing.
I think that as Texans, we are spoiled with a few things, and Bluebell is one of them.
God, yes. That's
I've
very
tried a bunch,
true.
and I'm not a huge ice cream guy. I know you can't tell by looking at me. I really don't like ice cream. I have other food vices that I clearly succumb to often.
I love Bluebell ice cream.
My
Love
grandmother, who is 88, 89 years old, she still every night 2 scoops of vanilla with some Hershey's chocolate syrup on top.
Amazing.
That's what she eats before she goes to bed.
I will.
And she's lived that long.
I will every time to the grocery store, regardless if I've got some Bluebell pints in the freezer or not. I'm looking to see what flavors they've got. maybe I want to try something.
I was
Maybe
a big
they've got one
Happy
I like.
Tracks. Happy Tracks when I was in college.
So that's one of the ones they had it at the parlor, and I had never had it before.
Delicious.
Had to have it. Amazing.
Okay, let me.
So hold on. So when I moved to Colorado when I was 5 years old, that Bluebell was taken from my grasp at an age where you like ice cream, and so it was just it's a real struggle up in Colorado with no Bluebell ice cream. Honestly, nothing compares.
Hey, Bluebell, you want to sponsor this show? Look, I'm not saying that our logo, our brand deserves your brand at all, but hey, we'll sit up here and we'll eat Happy Tracks. I'm not above that while we do this show.
Yeah, I'm all in, man.
But here's how I would consume Happy Tracks. Put it in the bowl. Put the bowl in the microwave for like 6 seconds.
Jen
5
does that
seconds.
with her ice cream too. I think
Just
that's
get
weird,
it soft
man.
enough.
No.
Oh,
I
it's
think
delicious.
That's weird.
It softens it. It gives me kind of a little bit of a chocolate milky feel, like a chocolate shake feel.
Cade McCoy in the chat. Shiner, Texas. I've never been to Shiner.
Shiner's a cool town. That's another good shout. Shiner's really cool. When I went down there to cover Dalton Brooks, first time I had driven, it's a pretty good haul, right? But like I went to the Spetzel Brewery, awesome experience. And
If we're doing this thing where they've got like little interesting museums and tourist attractions around Texas,
Nederland,
no. What is in Nederland?
the Dutch windmill,
Okay,
the Acadian house.
sure. I was going to say, and it's a weird. Stick with me, okay? Stick with me. Waco, Texas, Dr. Pepper Museum.
We got women and children in here, man.
They've got some cool hiking.
We've been talking
You
about
wanna
David
do some
Koresh a
stuff.
lot in
They've
the
got-
office.
No, time out. We have not been talking a lot about David
Lucci
Koresh.
was talking about
You've
the
been talking
compound.
a lot about it.
No, we talked about this upstairs the other day, and there was somebody that worked here that used to drive from College Station to Waco when they were in all that was happening to watch it from the outskirts from the road. We'll talk about that. We'll get once the microphones go off. I'll tell you who that
Okay,
was.
I'd love to hear about that.
Is that what? But was that like a tongue-in-cheek Waco thing, or
No, I'm legitimately being serious. Like suburban moms from around the country flock to that place to go to the Magnolia Silos. They've got stuff to do.
you got something against suburban moms?
No, of course not.
You love moms.
Of course not. Love moms. But like outside of the touristy things, like the cool stuff here and there, don't go anywhere in Waco, obviously.
They did a fantastic job with McLean Stadium. You were in there last
Yeah, I
weekend.
was there last week, and I've been to a few football games there.
They built it for the perfect size for Baylor. They did a great job. It has a little toilet bowl feel to the outside, but the sight lines in there are outstanding. You're right there on the Brazos River. They did wonderful.
Really good family friend of ours who went to Baylor in the 80s described it as an NFL stadium that they shrank down.
Okay.
It's good.
I can see that.
It's a good place to watch a game. It is.
And
Good place to watch a concert too.
I went and watched a couple of playoff games there last year, and so from the press box, you see across the river, see a lot of Baylor's campus. You can see all the way down to their baseball field. That is a really cool area. I've never been to the Silos in Magnolia Market.
It's not for me, but I've done it. They've got some interesting things. The town itself, not interesting.
And I know they used to at one point they used to race boats right there.
I didn't know that.
In Brazos River.
I know
right
they've
there in
got.
Waco.
I think they've got a crew team, a
So-
rowing team.
Yeah, I think Waco is like I'd put it ahead of those other towns in that similar size.
Yeah,
Lubbock, Midland, Odessa, Beaumont,
Yeah, it's better.
Tyler.
Yeah,
I'd put it there ahead of all those.
good place to stop on a road trip too. A lot
Okay.
of places to eat.
If I have to tell you, so speaking of places to eat, best food town in Texas, and you can't say San Antonio, because I think we have a clear cut winner there.
I agree.
Would it be?
It's San Antonio.
Yeah,
We're not even can argue that.
I know that. I mean, Houston gets a
To be fair-
ton of love.
Yes,
Houston
I was
gets a
gonna
ton
say
of love
Houston.
because it's like a
I've-
melting pot.
Yeah, Houston. I would go Houston for I don't know. And maybe this is my Houston area bias, or letting preconceived notion come in here, but Dallas is expensive. And I've eaten good in Fort
Austin's
Worth.
got a lot of good options.
Austin is too. I will get great barbecue in the greater Austin area, or even in Austin itself. That do a good job with the Tex-Mex, And because it's become so much of a melting pot, I felt like you can get a lot of different styles of food. It might be Austin's second.
There's a Detroit style pizza place down on 6th Street that we stopped at when we went for the baseball series. And as somebody who's got family from Detroit, anytime I can get a Detroit square, that's a good move.
Okay, and again, I'm going to be a homer here. I would throw for that next tier of towns in terms of size. I'd put Beaumont in there.
Because you're going for the Cajun angle there.
Yeah, and
that's a good point.
San Antonio wins this on basically one style of food.
We have a super chat. Super chat.
Nathan Harvey.
He wants to know, did Waco not implode when A&M left the Big 12?
It very much didn't.
It did not, even though that's what they tried to claim. Remember, they tried to sue Texas A&M when they were leaving the league?
It's actually been very
It's probably grown a lot
and
since A&M left.
And the
not
university,
related, but
after they got past the Brow stuff, like they've had good years. They've won a national championship at basketball. They got a brand new facility there. Baseball's taken a nosedive, but I think that should be a place where you can win in baseball. But football's been pretty good. I think Dave Aranda's got a lot on his plate this year. They need to win games. No bigger Baylor fan around us than Matthew Dawson. He thinks the Bears can win the Big 12. I don't know that I'd go there, but I do like what they've got. I like their pieces. But Baylor, since A&M and now Texas has left the Big 12, this should be Baylor's time to shine. And to Texas Tech's credit, they've grabbed the spotlight, right? They saw an opening. They backed it financially. They stole a bunch of headlines thanks to Cody Campbell. But they've got people talking about Lubbock, Texas. And I had a college coach tell me one time, if any coach in any sport wins a conference championship or advances far enough, in a postseason tournament, and they were at Texas Tech, they should be coach of the year in the country because it's just so hard to get kids out to West Texas. And that's coming from a very accomplished Big 3 coach. I couldn't believe that he told me that. He's like, it's so hard to get players out to Lubbock. So you credit Texas Tech for grabbing the spotlight. A&M, SEC, Texas, SEC. Okay, we have a chance to really make our mark in the state as the premier Texas program in the Big 12. Baylor, I don't know that they have the base to do that, but there's an opportunity for them to continue this kind of run they've been on.
We've talked a lot about Waco, and I want to wrap it up here with a thought, actually a premium chat. She's back. Dolo. All caps. All caps. It's almost like she's hit the caps lock key and she's forgotten how to turn it off. I love Waco. Chip and Joanna, cupcakes to die for. And on the premium chat, it's all caps. So it sounds like she's screaming at me, which if you know Dolo, she probably was.
It's right in your face telling you. I don't know. I'm guessing the cupcakes at Magnolia Market are very good.
I guess. Never had one.
Waco is fine for me. I have no issue going to Waco. It's an easy trip. What I always think that Waco is, I'll be there in 45 minutes and it's a legit hour and a half.
Yeah.
It is a legit hour and a half, no matter how fast you drive down a very poorly lit Highway 6. How quick can you get through Hearn and Calvert? Do you get pulled over? It seems like it doesn't matter. It's going to be 90 minutes from College Station to Waco.
I don't know who this Longhorn guy is on the YouTube chat, but I kind of like him.
Hey, listen, he's like here and he's engaged, and he's not being vulgar. Keep coming.
He's there every morning, too.
Oh, really? Oh, is he? Awesome.
Good
awesome.
Dude. I'm a fan. Hey, Sandman.
Keep coming around, dude.
Yeah.
We need all the help we can get.
Tell your friends.
Well, not a lot of them. Just a
not.
couple of them. You got some close friends.
As long as they're cool.
So Beaumont would be a shout for a smaller town, great food. Okay. Outside of that, and maybe, you start going down to the valley. I'm sure they've got some ones down there that can really compete. It's one of my favorite things, and I will be doing, I've already done it I'm going to Liberty Hill on Friday night. You talk about what gets me fired up about football, like getting back out and watching high school football. I've always loved high school football from, growing up. It was such a big deal in Southeast Texas. So I really enjoy going out to these games on Friday night. I've never been to Liberty Hill, and I'm going there to cover their game against Cibolo Steel, watch A&M commit Jonathan Hatton. And so, one of my favorite things to do is to either put on Twitter or put on the site, hey, I need some recommendations for this area. And I did that on one of the trips that we made to San Antonio for the All-American Bowl. And every one of the recommendations I got that I was able to go to, I think I hit 8 of them. Every one of them was out of this world food. And from that moment on, I said, there's not a better food town food city in this state than San Antonio. The only other place that I've been that could rival it in terms of local fare just being so good was New Orleans.
Gotcha. I've never been to New Orleans.
And I really don't like their version of Cajun food, but they've got enough of it there. Like, they're more Creole food, right? Like, you start getting into Breaux Bridge and Lafayette and Baton Rouge and, anywhere I-10 and south of I-10 in Louisiana, you're going to get real Cajun food. And I got, a little glimpse of that when I was in Lake Charles. Beaumont, Lake Charles, great food towns. If you can't find a good bite to eat in Lake Charles, Louisiana, there's something wrong with you. Go to Daryl's. Go to Daryl's in Lake Charles. It'll be the best sandwich you've ever eaten. Top 5 foods I've ever eaten in my life. The one thing that I have no question about that I can answer immediately. It's like when people ask me, who's the best high school football player you've ever seen? Devon A-Chain. Over with. It's easy. The best sandwich I've ever had in my life. Daryl's in Lake Charles. Daryl's in Lake Charles. Why would you ruin that cut for them?
Daryl's. I've never been to Daryl's, but I would stop if I were driving through Lake Charles anytime soon.
You go to the Nugget, spend a week in there. I love Lake Charles. I think when I go back, I couldn't live there. I had great 4 years at McNeese. Still obviously very close to a lot of the people there. I go there for a couple of days and I got to get back. But my favorite town in Louisiana by far, Lake Charles. I think that was an interesting conversation though. And so I'm looking forward to getting back out on Friday nights and sampling some local, like some stuff that's around the stadium of the game that I'm covering. I always enjoy that. All right. Getting close to where we can just about wrap this thing up. We did want to, so this new thing, this bit on Wednesdays. Okay. I don't know how we want to do it, Cade. I'm just telling you what this means. So you can do some Googling if you want to look up something, but we're either going to go with We Learned Wednesdays or Wisdom Wednesdays. And I have contributions for both topics. Okay. So something that I've learned, and I get a lot of this on my scrolls on Instagram. I like learning where phrases and stuff come from. Like, how did these things originate? So, like the symbol for pounds, LBS, like the abbreviation for pounds, comes from the astrology sign of Libra. I learned that this week. I didn't I always you saw LBS in the gym. I'm like, what does that mean? And so I like learning stuff like that. My favorite one that I've learned recently is the phrase break a leg. Do you know where that came from?
No.
Okay, Kay, do you know where break a leg comes from?
I do not.
It's obviously a term that we use to wish somebody luck before they go on a performance. Like before we go on the show, somebody in the office, hey, break a leg on your show. On the surface, it sounds like you're breaking, your femur, like a bone in your leg. Break a leg. I'm like, what? How does that translate into best wishes, good luck type of vibes? It's actually talking about breaking a chair leg. So in Shakespearean England, they would do these plays, these Shakespeare plays, on a wooden stage, and then the floor which the audience sat on was wooden, and the chairs were also wooden. And back then, if you were so riled up by the play and you enjoyed it so much, you would stand up out of your chair, pick it up, and start banging it on the floor to show your approval for the performance. So when you say break a leg, you're wanting a performance so good that people would stand up, grab their wooden chairs, beat them on the wooden floor, and the legs would break off of them. Isn't that cool?
It's different.
That's very interesting.
It's very interesting. Very interesting.
I love learning about
so
stuff
random.
like that.
That I would have
random.
liked that something you never would have guessed that's the origin of that phrase.
Yeah, and I feel like I sold the pounds thing short. The astrological sign for Libra is the scales.
Huh.
So there you go. That's why they use it for pounds.
You want to learn
How much
something new
weighs.
on this Wednesday?
Yeah, sure.
Dolores Lucci's a Libra. She shared in the group chat.
Okay.
She found out to
guess
turn off the caps locks.
I guess that does, that does qualify or fall under the umbrella of something we learned. We learned Wednesday.
I did not come prepared for We Learned Wednesday or Wisdom Wednesday. I don't know.
I
if
gave
I have
you this with
any,
plenty
I
of
know
time.
you did. Yes, you did. You had it. You actually gave it to me with way more time to prepare than when you
yesterday's.
dropped the top 5 on me.
Yeah. Kate,
And
were you
I'm
able to
just
find
unprepared.
anything?
I'm so sorry. What you want something I'm learning for We Learn Wednesday? If you are on TexAgs.com and you're looking at our stories pages right now, things have changed. It looks a little different. So I am now learning a new mechanic of publishing our
I did see
stuff.
that. I saw that on the Luchenbach podcast.
That's the development team. I knew it was coming for a little bit, probably the last week or so. I've been able to prepare myself mentally for it. So it's not one of those things that make me irrationally angry, right? I knew it was going on. I'm just learning different mechanics, different ways of adding internal art, headline links, stuff like that. So we're going to play around. We're going to experiment for a few days. So my We Learned Wednesday for the next month or so might be what we're doing on the back end.
Cade, have you learned anything recently?
I'm trying to think of.
Dude, you're in your second day of class. You better be learning some things.
But yesterday was syllabus day, though.
Wah.
So
silly week.
Yeah, syllabus day is just it's just a casual day. Usually involves me just sitting there and listening to them.
With a cold brew?
No, I'm in person, so I can't do that. If I was on Zoom with my camera off, perhaps, but no, in person, you just got to ride it out. First day, syllabus day. All of my classes are back to back to back in the same exact room, so I learned that's honestly, it wasn't as long of a 4 hours as I thought it was going to be. It was much shorter than
well, speaking of
my
learning,
professors were great. So
in school, I wonder.
Oh yeah,
I wonder what the feedback is on that. I know it's still early. Like, how are we going to determine that? But super interesting move. Is it by district, or is it a mandate?
I think it's
by,
by district. I assume it's by district. I don't have a
somebody's
child
going to know way
in school.
more. Yeah, somebody's going to know way more about this than I am. But I do know that it's been a big talking point is that the kids can't have their phones out in class anymore in high school.
That's how it should be. That's how it was when I was in school.
I feel like I am the last generation of feral children.
I'm part of the generation that grew up with our phones and stuff, and we were not allowed to have them out in school.
Yeah, that would have been the early days of it, right? Like,
yeah.
So I didn't have a phone where I could get on the internet until I was probably 22 years old.
When did you get a phone? Like your first
phone was in high school. I was probably a sophomore when I started driving. I think my parents got me, and it was like a Nokia flip phone or a Razor. And that's what I operated with
the Motorola Razor
most of my college career. And like we talked about yesterday, the accelerated reader program and how now you don't even need to read the books. You just go on Google or your phone and ask AI to tell you what this book's about, and it can hit all the high points. But I can remember you used to have to go buy Cliff Notes. You used to have to go buy Cliff Notes for books. You have to go buy Cliff Notes, and you'd have to go to a bookstore in town because obviously they wouldn't sell that on campus. But you have to go to a bookstore in town and spend money to buy a yellow book. It was called a Cliff Note book to give you like I guess it was probably a 10 or 15 page summary of whatever the book that you were required to read was. And that felt to me then like it was a little icky. So I can't imagine like having to deal with the stuff that at least the academic temptation of plagiarism right now. I mean, it's something that we deal with in our industry, honestly.
Yeah, and I've got people ask me all the time, do you guys use AI for your publishing? And the answer is really the only AI tool we use is Grammarly. Because AI that's a huge threat to me. Because what if we just start using AIs to write our recaps or our articles weekly? Like it threatens to put a lot of people out of jobs, man. It's very
You're like
stuff.
the home plate umpire of TexAgs right now.
Yeah, I know.
They go to RoboLumps.
They're gonna start doing this to me all the time.
You're out of here.
Patting their heads.
Don't let Olin can you imagine Olin walking by and just patting his head by you 4 or 5 times a day? It'd get a little annoying.
I catch a lot of what Olin's typos and stuff like that. I don't catch all of them, and when I don't, man, it is like a Bobby Cox tirade.
Oh, we're getting we having audio issues?
I don't know.
Some messages in the.
Somebody says audio's cutting in and out, video working, almost no audio.
I'm seeing the messages. I'm getting audio on my end, so
okay.
I will look
Turn
into
us
that.
up then.
That's the idea. There we go.
Make it louder. But this idea that like I went outside when I was growing up, like
I'm glad
screen
you
time,
went outside.
but screen time wasn't like something that had to be monitored or managed. That's why I think like
wiffle ball in the backyard
for
every day.
And one of my favorite sites, we have
Roller hockey in the driveway.
In our cul-de-sac, I've got a really cool little, in my neighborhood, I've got a really cool, some kids that are doing like kid stuff that they should be doing, and I love it. There's one kid directly across the street from me. When I wake up in the morning, I take my dog for a walk. And this is usually around 6:30, 6:45 when you go out for a walk. The kid across the street has, I don't know what he's training for, but he's jump roping by the time I get out there. In the street, jump roping, right? He gets done jump roping, he starts doing burpees. His house has a street light in the middle of the yard. He's went and bought bands because the bands were new. I saw the bands this morning. He's bought bands. He wraps them around the light pole, and he does like rows, like pulls, and then he'll flip around and he does like bench press pushes. And I don't know what this kid's training for, but I love the fact that you got school going on, and he's waking up early before the sun, and he's getting his work in out there. I love that.
It's cool.
At the end of the street in our cul-de-sac, I go out there sometimes, and we have tennis, baseball games going on, stickball games.
That's sweet.
It's so sick.
That's awesome.
And apparently there was.
You ever taken that bat?
No. I want, that's their childhood. I want them to have it.
I'm kind of tempted.
But that is what I love. Like, that's what kids should be doing, right?
I miss that.
And apparently there was somebody that didn't like it because their car might get hit with the tennis. I'm like, come on, man. Like,
and guess what? It sounds like these kids, whatever they're doing, however they're being raised, if they hit your car, man, they are going to be at your front door apologizing, because it sounds like that's the way I was raised. Like, obviously, do your best not to take this slap shot and hit the car down the street. But if you do and something goes wrong, own it.
Yeah.
Apologize and make it right.
It's a lessons in accountability. You should fall and skin your knees and get hurt and bloody. That's what you should do as kids. Like, go be a kid. It's one of my favorite things that we say to our players at 12, our youth players, is like, we specifically cut our seasons short so that these kids can go out and be kids. You don't need to be doing year-round baseball. There's no reason that you should be playing tournaments in December and January. I can't think of a lot of reasons why you should be playing tournaments in November and even early February. Like, go be a kid. In the fall, if you want to do fall ball, fine. We only make you do fall ball one day a week for an hour and a half at our youth level. You know why? Because we want you to go play football. We want you to go be a kid. In the summers, we cut you short. You know, our youth seasons are usually done by May, early June, and you have the rest of the summer to go be an 11-year-old. That's what, and that, like, to me, that's so important, and it gets glossed over in this trophy raising. I got to go to this tournament and play on this travel ball team because we go and we play at the Super NIT, the Super World Series, and if we win that Super World Series, we get invited to the Super Duper World Series in Florida, or we go to the Super NIT in Arizona. And if we win that tournament, Cade, if I win this 11-year-old tournament, we get 1,200 made-up points. And some national baseball outlet would put our name on a logo that features 10 other teams that were dumb enough to pay those prices to do those tournaments.
And, like, if the goal is to ultimately play college baseball or play professional baseball or college whatever, professional whatever, there's the old adage that says, doesn't matter where you are, they will find you.
Look, I'm going to be very serious when I say this. If you're listening to this show and you have a son, grandson, nephew that is in the youth baseball environment, I will promise you this with 100% certainty. There's not a high school coach or a college coach that cares what team he played on when he was 12, 13 years old, how many home runs he hit, how many 12-cent trophies he got to take home. They do not care. They don't care. You need to get them with a coach that is going to coach them the right way, build good men first. I've always said this. I am going to send way more men into the world than I am baseball players. So one of my ethos as coaching, as a coach, better be to build good men. And so I take that a lot of pride in that. But second of all, like, get them in a competitive environment with a coach that knows what he's doing, that can teach them the game. And I'm not just talking about baseball here. It's any youth sport. Like, the coach is the delivery mechanism to your life experience. You are investing this money. You want a return on it. And the return on your investment in youth sports can't be a college scholarship. That shouldn't be what you're spending your money on. Your goal is to get a life experience out of my son or daughter that is going to help them handle the challenges of this world going forward. And that, if you can find an experience like that, that is who you give your money to. And in the end, if you end up with a scholarship, hey, that's just, as we say in Southeast Texas, that's just lanyard. That's just the cherry on top.
Perfect.
I think that goes into.
You said that really well, man.
I completely agree. I played summer baseball more recently than either of you, so my experience in summer baseball was great. I loved my team. I loved my coach. Like it was a lot of fun going to the tournaments. Like you feel like a little bit. There's like a level of independence, but the coach, there's obviously guidelines, and it was good baseball. I mean, it was Colorado, and like sometimes we get a mix of Arizona, New Mexico, sometimes a Texas team in there, depending on where the tournament was. But I mean, it was good baseball, and I played a lot of kids who went and played college ball.
What are you pointing at, Richard?
Brauny, show the other screen, Cade. Show your screen. Do you see who that is in the second row right there?
Who is that?
Yeah, who Cade's pointing at. Do you see who that is?
I can't tell who that is.
You're going to be so happy when I tell you this.
The Matthew Dawson.
Oh, it's Matthew Dawson?
Yes.
Can you honestly, can you get off real quick?
Can you put a mic on him? Put a mic on him. Put a wireless mic on him and bring him in here.
Dawson, come in here real quick.
Oh, my God. I have not seen him since.
This guy is, if you don't know Matthew Dawson, he doesn't get to do as much stuff with us now because he's got a real, like, legit big boy job.
I have not seen him since.
One of the brightest minds that's
kickoff.
ever walked through this door. Honestly.
Yeah. He's so smart, dude. He's so smart.
And he's smart and puts in like all of his knowledge and brain power into building like sports algorithms to help him like understand trends in college football, basketball.
One of those, like the brain power is insane. And then the way he uses it, it's one of those undiagnosed but we're pretty sure kind of things. But it's great.
Come here.
Dude, come walk around. Walk around the back. Walk around the back.
The back here?
Yes, welcome to the B team. You're in the back of the B team.
Oh my God.
Hey, dude.
Back of the barnyard.
Dude, great
What's up,
to see you.
So
great
how's the
make
new
sure you
job?
talk into the mic. You've only been on a couple of weeks. Make sure you talk into the mic.
Sorry, that's my bad. It's been good. It's a grind. It's a different set of hours for sure, but happy to be here. I mean, Luke and I were just doing some stuff upstairs. So.
I know. So you want to like tease what you've got coming for the subscribers that are they've been needing to scratch their Matthew Dawson itch.
I mean, we're gonna make so much money this fall. It's crazy. We're gonna actually make so much money.
Guaranteed. And look, that's the B team guarantee. If you follow this guy, and much to a much lesser extent, Luke Evangelist, but follow this guy, his betting tips. Y'all are doing the over/under stuff, more or less than, right?
Yeah. We got some stuff coming up here, and it's.
Here's what I'm gonna say: follow Matthew Dawson's advice on Prize Picks, and then fade Luke Evangelist on anything dealing with the New York Stock Exchange.
Wow, what's going on there?
I don't know. I had to. The tip he gave us, it took off. And I made some money off of it, so I can't be that mad. But I did. I dumped it. It started tanking, and I got scared, and I dumped it.
At least you got out. I mean, you haven't really sent me any New York Stock Exchange plays that you've had recently.
I went through and I was buying new stocks, and I was like, how do I do this? Like, I don't spend enough time researching like the trends. So I was literally looking for like, okay, what is this call? Like, is there a company that has a call sign for like baseball? Does it sound like baseball? And there's one that's base, and there's a BSB. And so I was buying those. Not like high clips.
Yeah, obviously.
It's like
that's your 10%.
I'm trying to diversify, right?
Yeah, it's your 10% that you get to play with.
Yeah, okay. So. Anyway, glad to have you back, dude. So good. Pumped to see your content, and I will be
later tonight. By the way,
yeah, and I will be following your suggestions, and I will be looking to turn a little bit of buck off that brain. You know what I'm saying?
Well, look, I hope that I start getting some New York Stock Exchange plays from Mr. Brauninger.
Don't start doing that. You're
the New York Stock Exchange runs through Ryan Brauninger.
I'm not Nancy Pelosi.
Of Needle and... I mean...
we got 45 seconds left. What a dynamite way to go out. Kind of like yesterday with the Raise Help, Raise Dale.
I'm not going to get anything better than that, Cade. We can go ahead and start that outro music, and we're going to get out of here on a Wednesday version of B Team. Thanks for tuning in. Cade, thanks for hanging in with us. Like, you'll be back tomorrow?
I will be back tomorrow. Yes, sir.
Richard, I think you're probably back tomorrow unless the big man wants to come in for a little bit.
Unless I'm in trouble.
We could both be in trouble. Enjoy your drive home. Enjoy your evening. Aggies and Roadrunners just around the corner on Saturday night at Kyle Field. Thanks for tuning in.
The buzz is building.